What up, y'all? I'm JT, Chef Tickles, the Alaskan Sniper. I'm here with your boy Chris Easy, Deuces -1, Chris Evans.
What up? What up?
We're joined here with our man Big Daddy, the boy himself, Faraz Sani,
What it do, baby?
DB the Assassin, Sharp Knuckles,
How's it going?
and let's get into it. This is Hoop Session. What's up, guys? Christmas Day games were done. Bit of a blowout on all ends, but Chris, how was your Christmas, man?
It's good. Yeah, got to spend it with the
Yeah,
family, so I was quite
nice.
happy with that. Yeah,
Yeah, good stuff, man. How about Faraz?
yeah.
Yeah, man. Just went and saw my parents in the morning. Pretty quiet
Yeah,
Christmas Day, man. Other than
yeah,
that and watching basketball.
yeah. The COVID Christmas, but your
Yeah,
your dog's first Christmas. That's exciting.
that was Marley's first Christmas, huh?
Yeah. And DB, you were saying you went to go see your bro really quick.
Yeah. Just hung out with my brother and his uh, new
His
wife.
wife.
So that was
Yeah.
my sister-in-law, which is pretty crazy. And Sharon, yeah, we just went out for just to their place for breakfast, and that's it. Really couldn't see our uncles or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
had to keep it really small this year, but it was still good. FaceTime my mom in, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Nice.
Yeah. It was super different, man. We just hung out at home, literally just watched basketball all day, watched Christmas movies, like had Zoom and stuff. Super different, but at least it gave us the chance to like watch a lot of basketball, and we were kind of disappointed with the games, honestly. Like I think the closest the average margin of victory was 22 points. So
Wow.
we'll go through game by game, just kind of see what we can pick up, obviously moving forward, but hopefully the NBA can set the matchups a little better for next year around. I don't know. The first game was the Heat and Pelicans. So that was the closest game of the day, actually. 111-98 for the Heat. Jimmy went down pretty early with an ankle injury. So Dragic actually stepped up. I don't know. A lot of people were talking smack about Dragic after his injury performance in the bubble. But Chris, what do you have to think about the Heat and just that game in general?
The Heat did look a bit shaky from the start of that game, I think. The Pelicans came out strong. Zion came out. Everybody was shocked with how Zion played, I'd say. Like, even me, I was just watching him just barreling into the rim and just getting the smooth, soft touch off the backboard for a layup. It was quite impressive to see if he can keep this up all season. Like,
Yeah.
that would be quite fun. Yeah, the Jimmy injury did suck, but Dragic does step up real well. I thought this year he was going to play more of a six-man role, but if Jimmy is out for however much longer, then he might have to fill in that role. But he filled in
Mm-hmm.
quite nicely for Jimmy, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Having Bam on my fantasy team, sort of just watching him play, I didn't think he did really well. I don't think he's performed the way we all thought he was going to perform this season and like absolute dominate. But I
Yeah.
guess you were playing the New Orleans Pelicans with Zion and Steven Adams down low, so it's probably a bit harder for him in that game specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I really like this Pelicans team, man. This Pelicans team is really going to be exciting this year. Like, no more. I'm not complaining anymore about all their national TV games, but because
Yeah.
they look quite exciting to watch. So that's going to be a fun thing. Stan Van Gundy is probably the perfect coach for them as well. So I think that's going to be a team to watch. But yeah, underwhelming game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Christmas Day. It is game 2 for all these teams. So
Yeah, exactly. But like, the nice thing that I saw was no minutes restriction on Zion, right? So even when they were up like 12, 14 points kind of in the fourth quarter, he was still in there. Like you said, putting his head down, getting to the rim. He ended up with 32 points, 14 assists. So Faraz, that's your team, Miami. What did you have to think?
I know, man. I'm a little worried about Jimmy with the injury. Hopefully, it's nothing
Mm-hmm.
serious there. But they still came out with a W. I agree with everyone that the Pelicans are looking nice. They're looking exciting. I was just talking with Dinier about that this morning. Zion with no minutes restriction is going to be it's going to be nice, man. I'm hoping I'm hoping we see some greatness.
Yeah.
It's quite possible, man. It's going to be exciting. Just hoping, knock on wood, for no injuries. Yeah. Apart from that, though, while the Pelicans are looking good, they can't be losing by 13 still to a Miami Heat team with no Jimmy that was still struggling a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Bledsoe didn't really play that great. It was mainly just Zion and I believe Ingram a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They still need to kind of come together more as a team, but again, it's only game 2.
Yeah.
Stan Van Gundy's only been there again 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'll check in when it's like 20 games deep, and I think it might be a different story.
Right. Yeah. DB, what do you have to add about that?
Honestly, pretty much echoing everything everyone already said there. Number one, it's only 2 games deep. We're used to watching the Christmas Day games where everyone's kind of primed, ready to go, and
Exactly.
you know it's a big kind of day. Everyone gets hyped up and ready to go for that Christmas Day game, right? I don't think it was the same case this year. Didn't really mean much to anyone. It was the second game of the season, like we talked about. What I took away from this game mainly is how well Zion and Brandon Ingram can actually play together as well.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really take away much from each other when they're on the court. And they could be ran on different sets as well, right? You could run plays for Zion. You don't really need to run plays for Zion, though. You could kind of just, run in there and get those offensive rebounds. You could just play little pick and rolls with them. I really like that duo. I think at this point in the game, Brandon Ingram is still the better option. He's a smoother scorer, better scorer all around. But I'm really looking forward to see Zion develop this year, for sure.
Yeah,
Reminds me
I
of
think
young
you.
Faraz, man. Don't lie. Maybe a little bit more athletic.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you were a little bit more athletic
ability.
for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree, DB. Like you said, I think they complement each other very well, and especially I'm not sure who touched on it there about Bledsoe, Lonzo. They're getting quite weak guard play. I think they immediately missed Drew Holiday. Yeah, they immediately missed Drew Holiday, and if their guards are going to play below average like that, I think they went 2 for 16 combined or something along those lines. Then those bigs are going to have to step up, right? Like I think Jackson Hayes, when he was on the court, he had good energy, but he kind of got played off the court as well. They were just attacking him in the pick and roll with Jimmy or with Dragic. But yeah, like you said, they're kind of a team that's ready to step up and actually start winning some games. Like you said, Zion doesn't need plays, right? It's like, hey, go out there, be big, be strong, go grab rebounds. That's exactly what he's doing, right? And all that does is take focus away from Ingram. Like you said, GB, he's the better scoring option. Mm-hmm. Now you're having like one step less help, half a step less help because Zion's there. And if all goes wrong and you're driving to the rim, just throw it out there. I'm sure Zion will probably grab it.
For sure. Yeah. One more thing to touch on, JT, before we kind of skip over this team a little bit. Yeah. I really like Josh Hart, man. I don't know. People, for some reason, even when he was on that LA team, he was always just slept on because he came in with all those other young guys and he was just, not the most talented out of the crew. But I don't know, man. Josh Hart, he just works so hard when he comes into the game. He plays terrific defense, in my opinion. And then he could also space it with that three. So I think he's going to be really big for them. And I think they really need to get him burned off that bench. Mm-hmm. I don't think they have to rely that heavily on Bledsoe and Lonzo and those guys. I think they could get some more burn with Josh Hart for sure.
Yeah, I think as soon as if Lonzo and Bledsoe keep kind of not performing, then it's prime opportunity for Hart to step in there.
Lonzo's shot looks real nice though, hey? His 3-pointer compared to what it was the last couple of years. His form is almost perfect.
It's getting closer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely getting closer. I agree with what you said, DB. Josh Hart. We like looking for those kind of periphery guys, and he works hard on D, and he also pushes it in transition. Right, that's the kind of guy that's nice. Where, oh shit, if he's pushing it up the floor, and then you kind of forget about Zion for half a second, he's already at the rim, right? So that definitely helps. But Bledsoe, Lonzo suck. So maybe do you think they're making the playoffs?
It's the West, man. Yeah. It's the West. I don't know. They have a chance of making the playoffs for sure. I think they could be anywhere from, like I said, like they can make a 6 seed. I wouldn't be too surprised. And I think they could be like a number 10 seed and miss out on that play-in as well. So
right, yeah. And I think just they played well. I think Steven Adams played well as well also, but Miami, I think, was just coming out with a vengeance, right? Like I think they're a little pissed off. Maybe they got the first game of the day. They got a team that didn't even make the playoffs last year, and they went to the finals last year, right? So maybe they came out with a bit of a vengeance. They lost their first game, so I thought they looked well even with Jimmy going down. I think it was just ankle stiffness. I don't think he actually rolled it again, but who knows what that means. Second game of the day, in my opinion, the biggest sleeper, Bucks and Warriors, 138-99. Jeez. Just an absolute beatdown. Shit. Anybody want to talk about this one? Or Chris, what do you think?
Man, I think, what's it called? Everybody's going at Steph's neck this year. Everybody sees the Warriors weak. Everybody sees Steph can't burden, what's it called, or carry the team on his shoulders anymore. And they're just going after him. I think every game against the Warriors have against all these top teams, these guys are going to go at him. I feel like especially when you play the Lakers, the Clippers, like people in their division, I think teams are going to give them buckets, give them 30-point blowouts and everything like that, just to like, you guys were the powerhouse for the last like 6-7 years, but now it's our turn to like shove it to you type of thing. So I think the Warriors are going to be in tough this season. Even if Draymond comes back, I don't think that's a huge like advantage. Maybe you'll lose by 15 instead of 38. So that's basically, this game was the sleeper. So I don't really have like gloss over it really.
I don't know. It was an embarrassing game, but it's still only 2 games in.
Yeah.
It's still way too early. I think once Draymond comes back, I actually think that'll make a big difference.
Yeah.
I think so, just because of what he brings mentally, and how he holds a lot of players on the team accountable. I think when you don't have that one guy there, it really changes a lot of things. And to be honest, I used to hate it on Steph a lot. I think I'm still hoping he comes out and just starts averaging 40 a game, like just starts just balling, because he's the only guy out there. I mean, there's no one else really. I hope he just comes up jacking every shot and he just goes on a hot streak. That'd be kind of nice.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think game was just, oh no.
Yeah, this is when you take the dog out or grab a coffee or something like that. But I watched it in an entirety because I like the Bucks, but I think just the way that the Warriors are playing right now is the Warriors of old, right? They're playing that system where Steph is mostly off ball, trying to get open, and you're pretty much relying on the fact that the rest of your team has a high IQ, which right now it doesn't, right? You have, below 40% shooters pretty much from 3 across the board, except for Steph. So I think if they're going to be able to like maybe be really good again this year, they're going to have to maybe go to like Rockets mold and just Steph has the ball every single possession, high pick and roll. I think that's the only way they're going to be successful. Andrew Wiggins just absolutely doing nothing out there. He had 12 points. Okay, good for you. He had absolutely no other. He had 0 assists. He had 1 steal, 0 blocks. Great. 1 turnover. Awesome. He's just out there trying to hoop and literally not contributing to the team at all, right? So if he's not putting the ball in the hoop, he's just out there. Oubre, I will expect more from him. I think he just had a bad game. And there's that famous clip going around right now of him putting it up over 3 guys. But it's 2 games in. So DB, what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's 2 games in. I think the Warriors are one of those teams that doesn't want to really change the fabric of their organization or the way they play. So I think they're going to continue to play, that spread the floor, run off picks, pass, high IQ kind of basketball. I don't think it's going to work with this team, like you said. I don't think they have the pieces to implement that strategy. But I think they're going to keep it going. I think they're going to just say, hey, 1 more write-off year. No big deal. Let's get these young guys into the rotation, get them to learn a little bit, get that Wiseman a little bit more touches, right? See how he develops. And then when Clay is back next year, when Draymond's fully healthy for the whole year, when Steph has 1 full year under his belt where he's back and has, got that rust off a little bit, then they can make a run again. Because right now, realistically, what's the point? What's the point of changing up your entire, the way your team plays? Barely, maybe squeaking into a playoff spot, probably not. Maybe right into that like 7 seed, 8, and then just getting absolutely fucking rocked by LeBron. Realistically, like what's the point for them right now, right? I think they continue the course and they try to, hopefully for the next upcoming years they're back in contention.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't think they should change their system, but that might be the only way for them to do it this year, right? Like you said, Wiseman, he is that kind of, gold chip that they have right now where they're like, okay, cool. Like at least we have that really nice piece that is showing something. Clay will come back next year and I'm sure he'll be phenomenal. But Draymond's supposed to come back tonight, I believe, and they're playing the Bulls tonight. So I think they're gonna fucking wax them tonight. I think Curry's gonna put up 40, and Wiseman is gonna have a big game. Draymond's probably gonna have like 6 or 8 assists, and it's gonna be like Warriors are back. But we'll see, I guess, next episode. Yeah, Wiseman, 18 points, 8 rebounds. So pretty solid game from him. On the Bucks side, same old fucking Bucks, man. Same old Bucks. Giannis, a bunch of shooters. When it comes down to it, Giannis can't do it, right? That's unfortunately for me. I love the guy and I like the team. That's what it is. Middleton dropped 31. That's nice. But if your MVP can't be the guy who has the ball in his hands at the end of the game, it's like, there's a problem, I think. So same old Bucks. They got past the super weak Warriors, but I think long term, man, in my opinion, Brooklyn's still the favorite. So, Chris, what do you think about the Bucks?
Yeah. What's it called? They're really good. It's just they're really good in the exact same way we said they're really good the last 3 years or 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool, you guys are winning these games, you guys are blowing teams out. But when it really matters, when teams are actually playing against you and teams have 7 games against you, what are you going to do? I think it might be a bit better. Like we all said, it's only 2 games into the season, and you do have Drew Holiday, who's really good point guard, who probably still needs to fit into that system, learn how to play with one of the best players in the league, of Giannis, because he hasn't played with anybody really in New Orleans. So, I mean, it's sort of probably a growing. Anthony Davis. Yeah, but not Anthony Davis of, what's it called? Of the Lakers, Anthony, like the nowadays Anthony Davis. I forgot about that completely.
He was always up there in MVP voting, even in New Orleans.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to AD. Anyways. But like somebody like Giannis, to have Drew Holiday play alongside him, it probably takes more than 2 games just to get that cohesiveness together. So Bucks maybe it's good for them to lose a couple games and like get like the 2nd or 3rd seed just to like peg them down a little bit from thinking they're the top seed in the East, which probably Brooklyn is, to be perfectly fair. So
good point. Yeah. Great point. Faraz, DB, you guys want to add anything on Milwaukee before we move
on? I don't know. I'm just hoping to see if they kind of take that next step from being just a great regular season team to just being a great team. Yeah. So they haven't proven anything beyond that to me yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think everyone thinks the same way right now. They're a great team until they prove it in the playoffs. So what? But I do think that Drew Holiday is going to be big for them in the playoffs. I don't think he minds taking big shots either. As much as he's a quiet guy, doesn't need the ball or anything like that, I don't think he minds taking big shots at all. And I think Middleton has to be the guy. I don't think you can't say Giannis is the guy, right? Giannis is a multi-tool that's going to be able to do a lot of different things for you throughout the game. But when it comes to the end of the game and you need a bucket, you can't put the ball in his hands. It has to be Middleton.
Or when it comes to the end of the game and you need a free throw.
So savage but true, man. Like until he starts, hitting those, he's just going to be a regular season type player, right? A James Harden, if you might, right? Like, right? A James Harden of a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, even right now. But when the Rockets were dominating in the regular season, they were always like a top 3 seed in the West, and they just couldn't do it in the playoffs. So who cares? It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Like I felt like he was trying to showcase that he had a shot, Giannis, that he had hit a little bit of a shot. He walked into a nice pull-up 3, hit that. He had like a little between the legs kind of step back. He hit that, and then he airballed the next one. And I'm like, you can't be airballing threes, man. Like, come on. Anyways, same old Bucks, same old Giannis until we see something different. Definitely Drew Holiday is going to help 100% against Boston there down the stretch. They They swung it out of Giannis through Middleton across the court to Holiday, and he had a one-on-one. He got to the rim. Easy. Like, you need those. You need your point guard to be able to do that. Third game of the day was Nets Celtics. I thought this was going to be the best game of the day. And it was maybe the best half of the day. Nets ended up kind of breaking it out in the second half, 123-95. Chris, why don't you take us through this one?
Oh, man.
Yes, Chris.
Sort of a Christmas ruiner, to be perfectly honest. That first half was really good, and then we bullshitted that third quarter, and then KD and Kyrie went off. And yes, KD and Kyrie are the best duo, I think, in the NBA right now.
Sorry?
No, you heard me. They look really good, man. Like I was really impressed. Like I thought their first game against the Warriors, cool as the Warriors, you're gonna blow them out regardless, kind of thing. But I thought the Celtics would have put up a bigger fight. It was really the Celtics of old. Like JT, you were talking about the Bucks of old. Like it was really the Celtics of old. Like we play hard in the first half, and then the third quarter gets away from us, and then we don't have enough firepower to catch back up. I really do like, regardless of Teague's game yesterday or on the 25th, I really think that him and Tristan Thompson would be huge this year, especially Thompson. Yeah. I've ragged on Thompson this whole time in Cleveland, but having him on my team now, it really makes sense. Like I think Tice is going to fall out of the rotation quite quickly here. I think Tristan Thompson is going to start averaging double-double if he can stay healthy. He seems really good on the offensive rebounds. I think that's one of the keys to Celtics last year. There's nothing more to say about the Celtics except we've messed around and blew that game in the third quarter, which was like this what the season was like last year. So the Nets are really good. I think Nets are going to come number one in the East. The only thing is, like, yes, everybody expected that hype of KD and Kyrie being the top duo in the league right off the bat. But what is it going to be like in game 50? What is it going to be like in game 60 when you have a full season under you? You have like the injuries, the little dramas here and there that's for sure going to happen with Kyrie, I think. And then what are you going to do in the playoffs when you have to play a 7-game series and like Steve Nash actually has to do some coaching? Like, is that going to be tougher for them? Are they going to be able to let Steve Nash do some coaching into like a 7-game series, or is it going to be KD and Kyrie show the whole time, which isn't a bad option, but still it's tough to win in the playoffs without like having somewhat of a coach, I'd say.
Dude, I don't know, man. Two possessions. Sorry, Faraz, I'll let you go, but 2 possessions into the game, Steve Nash called a timeout. Well, Kyrie, first possession, Kyrie, ISO, blah, 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 gets a good shot, miss. Next possession down, you guys got like 3 offensive rebounds in a row and then an and one, and he calls a timeout like 12 seconds into the game. That's pretty ballsy. Sorry, Faraz, go ahead.
I was going to counter what Chris just said. He said you can't have like a 2-player option with a not so good coach. What about LeBron, Kyrie, and Ty Lue?
Yeah.
They didn't even like each other either.
Yeah, they didn't even get along. These guys are best friends. All I'm saying is, man, right now it looks like they're literally going, giving the ball. They're taking turns, and they're saying, "Stop me." Kyrie goes. If Kyrie goes, gets a bucket, then it's KD's turn. And it seems like whoever's just feeling it, they just feed it to him a little bit more. What are you going to do? You help a little bit off Kyrie. It's like there's KD, like right to his left. Like they have him placed like strategically right there. It's like you can't help off him. And then right when you even think Kyrie's hot, they're like, you know what? Here, give it to KD for a couple possessions anyways, because it's just an instant bucket.
Yeah. Instant.
I mean, I swear you can have that as your game plan the entire game. And if there are no injuries and if these 2 players do what they're capable of, like, how do you stop that?
Yeah. The scary part for me was that it looked like KD was like in third gear the whole night. Yeah.
And he will be. I think he will be for a while, man. I think a lot of these games you're not going to see KD just really kick it into overdrive. I don't think he'll need to.
Yeah.
Right? Like how much did they really play? He played 33 minutes. Yeah, so 33 minutes. Kyrie played 33 minutes. That's okay. That's a decent amount of time, but they didn't really need to kick it into that, like, next year, give me the ball every possession in the fourth. I'm just going to take over, right?
Yeah.
But man, if I'm Joe Harris, I am paying extra out of my pocket to both Kyrie and Durant. How many open threes is this guy going to get this year?
Straight up.
He's going to be sitting there just waiting. Just, you want to double? Okay. Wide open three for Joe Harris in the corner. Like,
yeah.
That was impressive. The Nets bench looks really well, or like the Nets surrounding pieces, Dinwiddie, LeVert, and Joe Harris, like you said, they look really perfect for KD and Kyrie as well.
Yeah, they look very bought in already on game 2. Like DJ looks nice, Allen looks nice, like just that rotation. Like you said, all those guys you already mentioned. Shamit's already in the rotation as well. Torian Prince is a nice piece. Jeff Green is playing lots of minutes alongside KD, the only 2 surviving Seattle Supersonics. I think they're already bought in, man. It looks good. Hey, DB?
Yeah, for sure, man. I think that whole team was fully bought in when they said they're going to bring in KD.
Yeah.
I think once they knew KD was coming, they knew they had a shot at the championship right away, and they're like, dude, let's go. Why not?
Yeah.
Right? Like you have KD. It's only been 2 games. Maybe I'm hyping it up, but I think KD is the best player in the league already again.
Yeah.
The injury aside, he's already the best player in the league again.
I think I got to change my MVP pick, man. I think it's going to be KD.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Can you be most improved and MVP at the same time?
No. I think once you get even remotely considered for MVP, all the other the other ones go away.
yeah, fair.
Ben Simmons wins most improved player, MVP, and rookie of the
year. Fucking guy. Oh, Ben. Yeah, Brooklyn looks fucking nice, man. I might, I think we're all gonna hop on the train pretty quick. Yeah, like I said, KD probably MVP, Kyrie, and then we're going back. It's very cohesive already, and honestly, I think Steve Nash is perfect coach for those guys. Like, Chris, you were saying when they get to a point where they're actually going to need some coaching, but I don't know. Are they going to need some coaching? Like, you have those 2 guys. You have DJ, who's like a complete vet. You have all these Jeffrey, like all these vets. I think he's the kind of guy that's like, hey, like maybe we could try this, and like KD will be like, yes or no, you know what I mean?
Which is like, give me the ball.
yeah, exactly, and that's a bucket. So, yeah, I still ultimately think KD's in 3rd gear, and I think closer to the end of the season and pushing into the playoffs, he'll definitely be up there for MVP. So moving on to Lakers Mavs, I was most excited for this game. Again, another blowout, 138-115 for Lakers. Lakers just look like they're already in the playoffs still. Like they're just rolling. Their defense looks really strong. Luka played well, but he needs help. He needs help. He's the LeBron 3.0 or the, Chris, you were going to say like Steph. I think against most teams in the league, he gets away with that kind of stuff, but those cross-court passes, those kind of drop-off passes aren't working against like a Lakers elite type defense. So Chris, take us through that game if you watched it.
Hey, I watched some of it. It was on during Christmas dinner, so I was like paying attention a little bit. But like how you said with those cross-court passes, like with Luka, if you don't have somebody strong on the team as well, you can really cheat on your help side. So I think that's what the Lakers did, and they're really smart with it too. Whereas Luka had no help. So it was literally the Luka show, and you can't really do that against the strong teams in this league. So like he needs KP back, I think, especially like when you saw them both play in the playoffs, how good they were. It's sort of like Luka needs help. The Lakers looked really good. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really watch the game that much, but I know watching Luka, especially in the first 2 games, like he needs help.
Yeah. Faraz, you want to build on that?
I mean, Chris has it spot on there, but I mean, this is just showing that it's Lakers all the way, man. This is good. It's still early, but they're still setting it up to what I think is just going to be a repeat. I think they're going to just keep feeding AD and try to get him that MVP going at it too. But like Chris said, Luka does need help. They really need KP back, and they really need him to be the unicorn KP. And that's what we all we all kind of need and want.
Yeah. DB, did you watch this game at all?
Yeah, well, I watched a little bit of it, not the whole thing. Yeah, man, I could echo everyone's statements there. First of all, Porzingis needs to come back. Number two, they need another guy other than Porzingis as well, if they're actually going to make some real noise in the playoffs. They're going to need some more help. Tim Hardaway Jr. is not going to cut it. As much as I like the guy, I keep picking him up in every fantasy league. I keep trying to get this guy some shots, and he has his one or two performances every once in a while where he'll drop like 35 or whatever, but they need someone other than him as their third option at the very least. I was looking even just at the Lakers, man. They have like 10 guys that could be the number 2 or 3 option on the Dallas Mavericks. Like it's unfair. Like Dennis Schroeder could just walk on to the Dallas Mavericks and be the number 2 option right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. That's not it's kind of a tall ask of Luka to be able to carry that team at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all their guys are nice, but they're kind of like good, like 6th or 7th guys. Like Dwight Powell, I like that guy a lot. Kleber, he's good. Like Tim Hardaway, I love that guy as well, but I think he's like your 6th man. Like that'd be a very nice 6th man. Yeah. They need a kind of small forward type position to hopefully go along with that team. And it's just a couple of years too early, right? It's almost like he's following LeBron's mold to a T with Ilgauskas and fucking Boobie Gibson and whoever else. Yeah, moving on. Last game of the day, I'll be honest, I didn't really watch this. Clippers Nuggets kind of broke open again in the end. 121-108 for Clippers, a revenge game for Clippers. Chris, did you watch this one at all?
Yeah, I watched it when the Clippers were up big, like probably close to the second half, and then I watched the Nuggets come back and bring it. I think it was within 9 or 10, and I was like, "Oh, here we go again. This is going to be fun. Like the Nuggets are going to Clippers are going to blow it." So I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And then all of a sudden, it seemed like Paul George sort of took control again, and he wasn't going to let that happen. I think Paul George is sick of the disrespect he got last year, so I think he's going to have a big year this year. It really does feel like Paul George's team. Like he's the man on that team, I think. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that game wasn't really paying too much attention to the last 2 games of the day. So
right, I kind of got basketballed out by that point. Honestly, it was like watching basketball for like 9 hours. When you messaged in the group, Chris, talking about looks like Kawhi got shot, I was like, oh, "Fuck, man, what did I miss?" Had to jump on Instagram and look at that elbow he took to the face by his own player. Yeah. Faraz, did you watch?
Yeah, I watched a bit of it. It was nice to see how Paul George kind of take more control of the game. I still don't think that it's like his team, but I think that the plan is to kind of let him facilitate a bit more, kind of run things through him. Maybe he needs that to kind of get a better feel of the game. So far, it looks like it's working. Yeah, so, I mean, Kawhi's just shown that he can kind of get a bucket when he needs to. And it's just kind of nice having everything run through Paul George's hands, and kind of let's see where that takes us. I mean, DB, we were talking about this, man. You got some thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. Exactly the same thing here. I think the more you see it looking like it's Paul George's team, the more it actually means that it's Kawhi's team. I think those guys that could get a bucket anytime they want, that they're confident in their game, they don't need early touches, they don't need anything like that, and they're willing to kind of just step back and take over when they need to. Pretty much what LeBron is really doing for AD as well, right? He's taking a step back, he's confident in his own game, he doesn't need those early touches, and he can take over whenever he wants. So I think it's showing that it's more Kawhi's team than anything. One other thing to note during that game is that how efficient both the guys were, both Paul George and Kawhi. They're not those superstars that need to shoot like 40 shots to get their 30 points. I'm pretty sure they both had the exact, I think they both went 8 for 14 from the field, 57%. That's, I mean, for 2 shooting guard, small forward type characters, that's pretty nice, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're looking like actually healthy now, right? Paul George looks healthy, and that's why I think we're seeing that step up. So hopefully he stays healthy the whole year. And great point, DB. I never looked at it that way about Kawhi, because it's so true, right? He's just like, he knows that when he needs to, he'll be able to do it. He's like the big brother almost, right? Or something like that. Really quickly, we can go through kind of just some quick hitters. Like, what was the biggest surprise, Chris, for you throughout the day, the whole day?
Throughout Christmas Day?
Yeah.
How good the Pelicans can be. I think how good the Pelicans can be. I think they, especially seeing how Dallas is struggling right now, if the Pelicans can steal like a stretch of wins, like I think playoffs is probably a very good bet for them. So I think I thought they were going to be worse coming off the start and Zion's going to rest some more, but with no minutes restriction and everything like that, I think the Pelicans are going to surprise a bunch of teams, and they already have so far.
Yeah, good point. Even in a loss, that's a good pick. My biggest surprise was just overall how bad the games were. Just in general.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. DB, what was the best game of the day?
That's what was the best game of the day? I guess I don't know, man. For me, it was the Brooklyn Nets beating Boston, just because I got to see a lot of good players play. That matchup was really exciting for me. Obviously, it was a letdown at the end, but just to still see Kyrie and KD play against top level competition as well. See how they stack up against the actually a really good defense team altogether as well. I think that was pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, and then Faraz, I don't know if you have one, but what was your best highlight, best play?
Best highlight or best play? Oof. That one's tough, man. I mean, I would pick any one of the ISO plays from Kyrie in that Brooklyn game.
Mine was the Tatum turnaround 3 over Kyrie. That was fucking disgusting.
That was real nice.
That Dragic fast break layup, where he went behind the back and then he had to with the left. Obviously, he's left-handed, but yeah, still we're able to get some highlights out of a bunch of blowout wins. Some other notable things that kind of happened since the Christmas Day games as well. That SGA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander game winner against the Hornets. He had one of the Martin twins on his heels, almost slipped down and hit that pull up to win by 2. So they're looking actually pretty nice there with Al Horford as well. CJ and Harden both dropped 44 last night.
Great game.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Great game.
Unreal.
Yeah. Looking for big performances from Harden mostly and CJ as well. And then the double overtime game, Detroit and Cavs. Cavs dropped 16 points in the second double overtime. That's pretty impressive. In 5 minutes, they dropped 16 points. And they're now 2-0 without Kevin Love. So obviously
Kevin Love played.
Detroit. Kevin Love played? Sorry.
Kevin Love was back. Yeah.
But obviously against a not so great Detroit team. But yeah, still pretty surprising. Next episode, we're going to be talking some game recaps. We got some big matchups again. Lakers, Blazers. That should be a good one. Mavs, Clippers again. And Celtics, Pacers. Pacers are always those teams that kind of give good defensive efforts. So let's see what Tatum does against that. And then I actually got some trivia for you guys as well. So no other hints or anything like that. But I got some nice trivia for you guys. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks for coming back. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love you guys.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I love you guys all. Mwah.
Peace. Thanks for stopping by to sesh with us. If you like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your neighbor, tell your dog. Peace.